Today, I wanted to talk to you about masculine energy. So, if you saw my previous live before this, I was talking about what is feminine energy and how it relates to dating and relationships. So, now that we've established what feminine energy is, I want to talk about masculine energy as well because, as I've said before, both men and women have masculine and feminine energy. The difference is the balance that we have between them. So typically, men operate more in their masculine energy than they do their feminine. Women operate more in their feminine energy than they do their masculine. But again, as women, we do have masculine energy, and it's important to understand how it works and how we use that in our everyday lives. So, masculine energy is all about things like confidence, decisiveness, structure, assertiveness, drive, ambition, push. Those are the types of words that you would associate with masculine energy. And when you have too little masculine energy, when you are not operating in it enough, here's what that looks like. It looks like you lack motivation because, again, masculine energy is about ambition. You lack accountability for your actions. You're not as organized. Um, a lack of masculine energy correlates with a lack of self esteem. So your self esteem is low, also correlates with a lack of focus and also not setting boundaries. So these are the things that you may see if you are operating with too little masculine energy, which is why even as women, it is important that we understand our masculine energy and what it means to operate in it because it is a smaller part of ourselves since we operate mostly in our feminine, but it's still an important part of how we live our lives. Now, if you are operating in too much masculine energy, what that looks like is you are dominating. You are too analytical. You live way too much in your head because that feminine energy is about being present and creative and allowing things to happen. So when your feminine energy is not in balance, then you operate too much in your masculine. You become too analytical, too rigid. It makes you robotic. It makes you too critical. It makes you confrontational, overly assertive. That's what happens when you operate too much into your masculine energy. So here's how that looks when it comes to, as women, what it means for us to operate in a balanced masculine energy. As women, the most obvious way that you would think of us operating in our masculine would be in our careers, because masculine energy is the energy of ambition, of drive, and push. But this also affects our dating lives as well. So, having the right amount of masculine energy, part of that is, if you remember, I just said that, having too little masculine energy is correlated with having low self esteem. So, having balanced masculine energy is having the confidence to put yourself out there, to understand that you would be a great partner to someone, that you would be an asset in a relationship. Having masculine energy and having it in the right balance when you're dating is about knowing when to stay and knowing when to leave. Because again, masculine energy is about decisiveness. So it is important to be able to make those decisions. Our feminine energy is what allows us to be present and to kind of take things in. And then the masculine energy comes in when, after we've taken this data in, being able to decide, okay, this person is good for me. I want to continue this relationship, or this person is not good for me. It is time for me to exit stage left, right? In our masculine energy is where we find our ability to set boundaries. It is where we are able to look at what it is that we want in a relationship, what it is that we don't want in a relationship. And remember, this is not just your romantic relationships. This is also your platonic relationships, your relationships with family members, with friends, with coworkers. to be able to take that action and to decide these things, these behaviors do serve me, these behaviors don't serve me, and based on that, these are the boundaries that I am going to set, and these are the boundaries that I'm going to hold. That ability to set boundaries and enforce them comes from our masculine energy. Our masculine energy is also about taking accountability for our role in relationships. And yes, this does not mean that you are letting bad partners, toxic partners off the hook, but it does mean that you understand that every relationship involves two people. So when your masculine energy is in balance, you are able to look at a relationship and say, okay, this person was not a great person. This relationship was not a great relationship, but I can also look at my role in it and look at what attracted me to this person in the first place, or what behaviors did I have that I need to correct in the next relationship. So again, when we look at masculine energy, it is all about being able to take, the confidence and decisiveness and structure and use those to take initiative into our relationships, to set boundaries in our relationships, and to be able to be decisive in what it is that we need and want in relationships. One of the best ways I can think to describe this is that the masculine energy is a container for the feminine energy always. So male or female, masculine energy is always a container for the feminine. What I mean by that is that if you look at what we talked about with feminine energy is that going with the flow. It is with being present. It is with being creative. Feminine energy is all about nurture and care. These are the things that make you attractive to a partner to begin with. Your ability to nurture, your ability to enjoy the moment and to stay in the moment and to stay present, your ability to be creative and to be playful. And these are the things that increase attraction. Now, the masculine energy is what allows you to do those things and feel good. What allows those things to stay healthy, because again, it's in your masculine that you are taking the initiative to put yourself out there to meet people in the first place. It is in the masculine that you are setting boundaries and deciding on what your standards and your deal breakers are. It is in the masculine energy that you are deciding whether or not to stay in a relationship, whether or not this is someone who serves you. So that masculine energy is a container for your feminine energy.